In this video, I'll be reviewing the Epson EcoTank ET-2980. In this video, I'll share with you the pros and cons of owning this printer. So let's get started with the positive side. So the first one is that this printer is able to print on both sides of the paper, which is always a great feature to have, especially if you want to save some paper. Another thing that I liked is the fact that the control panel that you're going to interact with this printer is adjustable up to 90 degrees. I reviewed many printers in the past and many of them have one that is able to swing slightly, but this one it's able to do a full 90 degrees. So if you're standing up and the printer is on your table, well, it's very easy to touch the buttons and to look at the screen. Now, one interesting feature that not many printers have is the fact that the output tray where you get the results out is automatic. So over here, I cannot open this panel over here to pull out the tray. What you need to do is to simply launch the print on your phone or on your computer and the tray will come out automatically. It has a motor that will push it out. Let me demonstrate. It's great because you don't have to come to the printer every time and pull it out. Now, the only downside is that once you remove the paper, it doesn't retract automatically. I really was expecting it, after 5 minutes of inactivity to come back in the printer by itself, but no. Unfortunately, you have to go on the menus over here. Okay. And select Store Output Tray, press OK, and then the motor will engage and will pull everything back inside. I wish there was at least a separate button over here on the control panel that will do this for you instead of going in menus. Another positive side is the fact that this printer is able to print borderless. You're not wasting any paper, it's able to print up to the edges. Now let's talk about print quality. This printer is able to print at 400/800 by 8200 dpi, which is not bad. It means that your prints will have quite a lot of details. It's always hard to show you with a camera how much details the prints have, but in my opinion, this is a strong point of getting this Epson printer. If you're printing pictures especially, you will not be deceived. Even if, over here we have some dark shadows, there's no noise and there's no weird lines that sometimes may appear on cheaper printers. Here the print looks crisp, the color accuracy is not bad as well. And although this is printed on plain paper, on glossy paper, it will look even better. But if we look at this skyline over here, you can really see that it's able to resolve great details, even those windows of the buildings in the back. I was quite happy with the image quality. If you're printing text, it won't have any issues. Everything looks the way it's supposed to look. It's sharp, it's crisp. Here we have some text and some graphics, and it does a really great job. For a printer of this price range, it's printing at 15 black and white pages per minute and 8 pages in color per minute. I would say it's on the slower side, especially if let's say you compare it with other printers that are not ink tank based. For example, I reviewed last week a Brother printer, quite cheaper than this one, and it's able to print at twice the speed. While unfortunately that printer does not have the ink tank, so the ink will cost quite a lot more. For an ink tank printer, the speed is acceptable, but in case for you it's extremely important a printer that is blazing fast, you better look somewhere else. And by the way, I'll put links in the description towards this printer on Amazon and also alternatives that you can check out. So take a moment and look at my links. Every time you purchase through them, I'm very transparent. I get a very small commission from Amazon, and it helps supporting the channel. But now let's talk about the negative side. Well, one of them is this very, very tiny display, and it's not only tiny, but the viewing angles are not great. So for example, if you're staying straight and you look straight to the display, that is, by the way, almost as big as my thumb, which is not big. If we go on the side over here, you can see already it's a bit harder to read whatever is in there. And the main menu of this printer, if I press the home button over here, has 11 pages. So, you need to press this button every time to switch from page to page. And, printers with bigger screens, you're able to see at least 3 or 4 of these settings at the same time on your page. This one, nope, it's one setting per page, and definitely this could be improved. I know the Epson are actually making some printers with touch screens. They cost a bit more, but yeah, they should have put one over here, since this control panel is quite limited in terms of buttons and screen. Another downside is that the paper input is located on the back. So this is the front. If we go on the back, it's right over here. I don't like these kinds of paper inputs because, first of all, they're not able to hold a lot of paper. Over here, the maximum is 100 sheets of paper, which, again, if I compare them to other printers, it's on the low side. It's one of the printers that takes the least amount of pages in this price range. And second of all, the paper is exposed. So let's say you want to put this printer against a wall and you push it. Well, you cannot do this. It cannot stay flush with the wall because then the paper will not be aligned. You need to leave a bit of space so the paper stays at an angle. I don't understand why they didn't put the paper input right over here. Some Epson printers have it down below, and as you see, it's empty. There's a big space. And another downside is that, it's not a big one, but this printer has a scanner. If we take a look over here, a scanner glass, that it's able to scan up to 8200 dpi. Unfortunately, if you want to scan at this resolution, you'll need to use a computer. If you go on the Epson app and connect your printer, that, by the way, it's quite easy to do, and I like the app, you will only be able to scan at 600 dpi. So it's limiting yourself and forcing you to use the computer if you want to get the best scan results. And not everybody is using a computer these days. So I wish the app was able to get you the same kind of results. So do I recommend this Epson printer? Well, in my opinion, yes. And it also depends on who you are. If you're going to use this printer at home and you're going to print pictures, some text files, a mix of both, and you're going to print regularly, in this case, yes, totally, I love this printer. First of all, well, I don't have to explain to you, this printer has ink tanks over here, which means that they'll be able to last up to 5,000 pages, which is, it's amazing. Some people will not even use that amount of ink in 3 years. And it comes included with the ink bottles in the box. It offers great image printing quality. It offers a quite basic scanner, but useful at home. And although it's not a fast printer, again, if you're not using it to make money, you're using it at home, well, in that case, it's not very important. If you're not going to print often, for example, if you're not going to print for 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the time, in that case, I think you're better to choose a laser printer, even a color laser printer, because since this is using ink, this ink will dry out if you're not using it. And the print heads as well, the ink will dry. And if you're trying to use it, let's say after a month of not printing, you're gonna see weird lines. And most of the time you'll be able to clean them out in the menu over here. But sometimes if let's say you're living in a very dry place environment, in that case you'll have to replace the print heads or other stuff. It will get costly, and sometimes you'll have to throw the printer away if, let's say, you forget to print during a month or and a half or 2 months and you're living in a very dry climate. Thanks for watching. Please take a moment and check my Amazon links again if you want to get this printer or another one. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video.